Good afternoon, class. My name is Wadarius Watson. During this screencast, I will be discussing the election of 1932 and the impact that it played during the Great Depression. The United States presidential election of 1932. American presidential election held on November 8th, 1932, in which the Democrat Franklin D. Roosevelt defeated Republican President Herbert Hoover. The 1932 election was the first held during the Great Depression, and it is represented a dramatic shift in the political alignment of the country. Republicans had dominated the presidency for almost the entire period from 1860, say 2 terms each won by Grover Cleveland and by Woodrow Wilson, who benefited from a split in the Republican Party in 1912, and even in 1928, Hoover had crushed Democrat Alfred E. Smith, winning 444 electoral votes to Smith's 87. Roosevelt's victory would be the first of 5 successful Democratic presidential wins. First, let's discuss Franklin D. Roosevelt. Franklin D. Roosevelt was important to the history because he was the president during key moments in U.S. history, such as the Great Depression and World War II. During his first months in office, he passed several programs and reforms designed to stimulate the economy and relieve those struggling financially. On the other end, we have Herbert Hoover. As Herbert Hoover was president, the stock market crashed October 24th, 1929. It was less than 8 months into Herbert Hoover's presidency. Most experts, including Hoover, thought the crash was part of a passing recession. By July 1931, when the president wrote this letter to a friend, Governor Louis Emerson of Illinois, it had become clear that excessive speculation and worldwide economic slowdown had plunged America into the midst of a Great Depression. While Hoover wrote to Emerson that considerable continuance of destination over the winter and perhaps longer was unavoidable, he was trying to get machinery of the country into action. Since the crash, Hoover had worked seasonally trying to fix the economy. He found that government agencies encouraged labor harmony, supported local aid for public works, fostered cooperation between government and business in order to stabilize prices, and struggled to balance the budget. The Great Depression was probably the deepest and longest lasting economic downturn in the history of the Western and industrialized world. In the United States, the Great Depression began soon after the stock market crash. Over the next several years, consumer spending and investment dropped, causing steep declines and the output rising levels of unemployment as failing companies laid off workers. By 1933, when the Great Depression reached probably up to 13 to 15 million, I would say, Americans were unemployed and nearly half of the country's banks had failed. Though the relief and reform measure put into place by President Franklin D. Roosevelt helped lessen the worst effects of the Great Depression, in the 1930s, the economy would not fully turn around until 1939, when the World War II kicked the American industry into a high gear, into another level. During the Great Depression, a lot of people lost jobs. A lot of people lost their way of living. Had to adjust to a new system, I would say. Children getting born slowed down because the lack of income coming into a household. If you can't take care of one child, there's no way you can take care of 3 or 4, and also trying to provide for yourself at the same time. So during this period of time has to be one of the most impactful periods ever in life, and hopefully we would not have to go through this again. I really hope everybody enjoyed my screencast, enjoyed my PowerPoint slideshow, and everybody have a good day.